Hi there, everyone. I wanted to start this semester by kind of introducing one of our assignments. This is the first time I'm doing this assignment as a digital submission, so I thought it might be beneficial to kind of show you what I'm looking for with it. And that assignment, the one I'm talking about here, is this brief song lyric annotation assignment. You'll find this in week one, the overview, and I'm going to walk you through some steps of how you could complete this. What I'm going to show you is not the only way. You can do this a couple different ways of completing this assignment. As long as you're showing me that you understand what you're supposed to do, is really all that matters. So the first thing I would do is click on the directions here. Now I've already done that. I'm going to open up my other tab. This takes us right here to the directions. You'll see the directions begin with the objectives. These are the things that I'm wanting to see that you understand how to do, that you understand how to annotate and how to analyze. And as long as you can do that, it doesn't really, you don't have to follow the way that I'm going to show you. You don't have to do this exactly step by step, exactly the same. So hopefully you have already read chapter one of the textbook, and of which you'll learn that annotating means to take notes. Oftentimes, annotating means taking notes directly on the text that you're reading. So if you've been given a handout by the instructor, if you have a textbook, you're actually highlighting and writing directly in that textbook or directly on that handout. It is an extremely beneficial way to keep track of what it is that you're reading and to help that process of learning and understanding. So the very first thing that you need to do with this is pick a song and print the lyrics. You need to print them out, and you're going to annotate this all by hand, and then either take a picture of it and send that picture to me so I can see that you've done this. This is actually kind of my preferred method. I'd rather uh, I'd rather do stuff by hand, but for convenience of this video, I'm going to do everything digitally, but you don't have to do that way. If you do decide to do everything on the computer, this is how we're going to do it. So the first thing we want to do is find a song. I'm going with the song Lattice by Tool. They're a metal band from the 90s, and this is probably my favorite song ever. So what I would do then is I just look look for it in Google, and you can already see my years of being an English teacher have paid off. I do not know how to spell the word lyrics. I don't know what happened there, but it happens to the best of us, spelling errors. So, at any rate, I've looked for the lyrics and I've copied them into a Word document here. And to make sure that I get credit for the assignment, I've put my name at the very top, and then I've said, the title of my assignment. This is what I'm doing, so that way when the teacher reads it, the teacher knows exactly what they're looking at. The song lyric annotations to the song Lateralis by Tool. Okay, now how do I do this? Well, there's a number of things I can do to annotate this on a virtual setting. Uh, and of course, if you're doing this by hand, the same sort of thing applies. First, you want to kind of read through this one time without marking it at all. Just read through it so that way you know what it is that you're reading. I've already done that. I've listened to the song 1,000 times. And now what I'm going to do is start annotating. So black and white are all I see in my infancy. Red and yellow then came to be, reaching out to me, lets me see. Okay, if I go back real quick here to the directions, annotating does not just mean simply highlighting or coloring. We actually have to add some notes, and we have to try to make connections, either things that make sense to, well, stuff that makes sense to us because they are our notes. Okay, so then I can look for definitions, look up words I don't know, concepts. These are things, ideas, things that I think are interesting or difficult to understand. Tone, what is the writer's uh, kind of opinion or attitude towards something. A bias is a preference for one thing over another. And I can, of course, just ask questions. Maybe I read something, I go, I don't know what that means, and so that's the note that I write. I don't know what this means. Maybe I see something, I think, wow, that's interesting, or I never thought of that. And again, that's the note that I write. And then connections. If I can think of a personal experience, something from my past, or maybe something else that I've read, I might make a note that that connects that. Okay, so now that I know those are the types of annotations I should be doing, let's go back through this. Black, then white are all I see in my infancy. Well, I know what the word infancy means, but just to really make sure that I kind of remember it, I'm going to highlight it here, and I'm going to use the comment feature, which to do that in Word, I just go up here to Review, and I'm going to go to New Comment, and what that does, oh, I have the wrong thing highlighted there. Okay, so as long as I have the correct thing highlighted and I go New Comment, I can say something about this, and infancy is the beginning of life, like a baby. I'm going to add that in here. So that's kind of my definition. I don't need to say that's a definition or anything like that. You know, and while I type that, I had another idea going to come to me, so I'm going to go ahead and add another note here. This time it's a question. Is he talking about being a baby? What's that mean? So the notes, the annotations, they can kind of be gobbledygook at first. They're notes for you. They don't have to make sense to, as long as they make sense to you. That's all that matters. They don't have to. You don't have to have correct answers, the right answers about anything. You're just trying to kind of process all the ideas in your head and put them down in writing. That's really the beauty of notes here. Okay, so then we have red and yellow, and it came to be reaching out to me. Let's me see. As below, as above, and beyond. I know that Tool. They've had some spiritual type lyrics in some of their other songs, so I guess I'm going to kind of highlight that there, comment, and again, I'm just going to ask a question because I don't really know, but it's something I want to draw my attention to later on as I try to analyze this. Is this spiritual? Is below? We're going to call this hell. Is it below? Is above? Above heaven? You know, I really don't know, so I'm just going to put that in there. Lines of reason, push the envelope, watch it bend. Push the envelope. I don't know what that means, but I seem to think that is some type of idiom or cliche statement, even though I guess I can't exactly think that I've heard it before, but push the envelope, push the, I think this means to like test the boundaries. So I'm just going to say test boundaries. And I'm going to write idiom. You'll notice I do a lot of questions. That tends to be kind of my way of annotating. I tend to just ask questions, but that doesn't mean that you should be doing hopefully doing a little more than that. And you notice as I'm doing the comments here, it's not actually highlighting anything, so I'm going to kind of go back through this again with the highlighter. And I think you don't have to do this. You can color code it if you want. You can stick with all the same color highlighter. But I think if I have kind of a statement, I'm going to do that maybe in magenta. And if I have kind of a question, let's do that in green. And then definitions will kind of keep in blue. And overthinking, overanalyzing separates the body from the mind. Overthinking, overanalyzing separates the body from the mind. Wow, that's really kind of strange. Um, so let me think about that here for a moment. We're going to go to review again. We're going to add a comment. Analyzing separates the body from the mind. I have to uh, analyze in class, so separating the body from the mind. Maybe so this gives me a chance to see more physical manifestation of my ideas. Right. No, that sounds kind of what I'm picking up from that. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there as a comment, and then that was kind of just a thought that I had. So we'll do that again as magenta. Okay, now I'm not going to go through the whole thing here. It would take a lot of time to do that, but basically this is the process I'm going to go through. Oh, and by the way, you don't have to just do highlights and writing notes. If you want to, if you're doing this on a piece of paper, sometimes I'll draw pictures. If something is really interesting to me, I'll draw like a little smiley face or exclamation points. If I have questions, sometimes I just put like little question marks off to the side. If I think something, uh, if I have a question up here, and then as I'm reading through the text, I kind of figure out the answer. What I'll do is I'll annotate, I'll write down what I understand the answer to be, and then I'll draw lines, kind of draw arrows back up to that question, or vice versa. So that way I know that my question has been answered, and when I go back to reread my notes, it makes sense to me. It's all there. However you do it, it is entirely up to you. As long as it makes sense to you and that you are demonstrating to me that you understand that annotating means more than just highlighting and coloring when you read. It's to actually apply your thinking and through the form of kind of these informal notes to a text. After you do that, put your name on it, as I've done, save that, and then send it to me either as a document, or if you have a printed copy, take a picture of it, send it to me. If you can't do that, if you're not really sure how to do that, keep that physical copy, send me an email so that I know that you're not turning this in late. Just say, hey, Mr. Dahlstrom, I'm going to bring this to you on the next day that we meet for class. And I'll say, okay, that's cool. And you bring it in, and I'll grade it from there. If you kind of make sure that you look at the rubric. This is how I'm going to grade you from 5 points all the way down to pretty much. I don't have a 0 down here, but 0 if you don't do this. 1 if all you're doing is highlighting, and if you've done several of these kind of things, you've looked for definitions, you've made connections to your personal life, you've asked some questions of it. If you've taken some time with it, I know that you're really trying to kind of piece this together and figure out what the song means, or what the writer was trying to do when they wrote the song. You'll get 5 points easy enough. And then from that, you submit this either through Canvas or Blackboard. And again, if you're not really sure how to submit it, just send me an email and let me know. I do want to show you one other. A classmate has submitted this assignment already, and they've done it a little bit different than what I've just shown you here. So I do want to show you that. Your classmate, now the song is all in Spanish, and unfortunately my Spanish is not well enough. I don't speak Spanish well enough to really know what the song is about, but that's okay. The student does. The student has highlighted it, and at first when I opened this up, I thought, wow, and the student did have their name on there. I've just taken the name off. But at first when I was looking through this, I thought, well, this is probably going to be a grade 1, because all they've done is just highlight stuff. But the student decided at the very end, once we scroll all the way down, they've typed out what their kind of analysis is, and then they've told me what everything is. And you can see that they've color coded everything. So again, you don't have to color code it, but that's what the route that the student did. Um, Student did this before I put this video out, so definite kudos for trying to problem solve how to do this assignment, and it worked for them. And so in the end, this is definitely going to be a highly graded or good assignment, good grade on this. So this is just another kind of way of doing it. Um, so that's all I have for you. If you have questions, send me an email. Thanks a lot.